Hello everybody and welcome to the 5-minute review. Today I'm going to be looking at Final Fantasy VII, and to start off with we're going to look at the story of Final Fantasy VII, which is obviously one of the key components to any RPG, or at least any good RPG. In this one, your objective is to save the world and to stop the evil Shinra Corporation from sucking out the lifeblood of the planet. And basically, without giving too much away, it's a rival from Cloud's past, which is a spiky guide hair dude there, which is just about to fall down from that bridge. But he does survive, don't worry, that's not too much of a spoiler, that comes fairly early on. And the great thing about it is, there's a lot of character development in here. It's a really, really well written story, as you'd expect. It's quite an old story, it's true, and it is many people's first RPGs and stories that got them into RPGs in the first place, and it could, in its own right, be a novel itself, I feel. But, just my opinion on that one. Secondly, we have the gameplay, and this is done in an active turn ATB, active turn-based system, and basically you have time between each attack in which to pick your next attack, and they give you a variety of moves to do. So for example, there's a materia system which you use to give yourself magic, like the lightning just on the screen. Obviously everyone has a normal attack and everyone can use items as well, but you do get different materia that allows you to modify that, and it also then allows you to use different tactics in battle and have different characters assigned to different roles. For example, Ares can be used as a healer, you can use Cloud as pretty much all-round guy, and of course there are the game changers in the game, which are summons which anyone can use as long as they're equipped to them, but they do vary depending on the magic power of the person using them. So there's lots of tactics in there, and for me it's a really great battle system that anyone can pick up and play and get used to. Thirdly, we had the graphics. As you can see, they are quite dated comparatively to nowadays. If you pick up any RPG nowadays, especially such a game like even Oblivion or the Elder Scrolls or Fallout, even though some of them, Fallout and Oblivion aren't massively new, the graphics in there are obviously far superior to these. The thing you have to remember is this is made in 1996 and we're now in 2013, so it's quite a big jump. But back in the day, these are some amazing graphics. As you can see, everything is very crisp and clean in terms of the menus and in terms of the icons and stuff. It's been upgraded for the PC version, which is the one I'm playing. So you do need to bear that in mind if you do get it on the PSN or the PlayStation 1. But the PC one does have the higher resolutions. But all the backgrounds are really nicely done as well. They all look amazing in the game. But the graphics shouldn't put you off too much, even in terms of nowadays. And of course, we have to look at the music at some point, so I put the music in here, hopefully no copyright, but we'll see. And this one is the theme tune of the Turks, which is the guy currently standing behind Cloud. And obviously because the characters don't talk, the music in it is such a big... It's used to set the scene, and it's used to display different characters and their personas as well, so the music adds to them. So the Turks, it's sort of like, it's funky music but it's got an undertone of cynicism and deception, which is what the Turks are all about. They are a secret organisation after all, and are there to do the bidding of Shinra, which is of course one of the main bad guys in the game. So all that does fit together quite nicely, and that is basically how the music in all pretty much Final Fantasy VII, and in Final Fantasy games work in general. So you'd expect there to be some pretty good music in there. And then finally we have my bonus round, as I call it, which is the spirit. So we have the spirit of the RPG. And I have to say, for this one, it was one of the first massively mainstream ones. It was one of the highest selling games on PlayStation 1. And it was many people's first RPGs to getting them into it. And this game really does embody the spirit of all RPGs, which is probably the reason I've started it off with this one. And it will come as no surprise to you, the score it will get at the end. I don't really think there's too much more to say. This is obviously the promotional footage from when the PlayStation 3 came out. But what I've decided to do is, at the end of each review, I will give them an Odin score. So many Odins out of 5. So depending on how many Odins you see, after the outro will be the score it does get. So 1 to 5, and yeah, that will basically see if I recommend the game or not. So, stay tuned to find out what result it got.